Why do you ruin all that you touch?
I only ruin everything around you, babe.
Oh,
'cause
God.
I just want to... Come on, Brooks, we have to start it on high
No.
energy. Touch me all over.
No.
Touch me.
Okay.
Boil me up like a greased pig on Thanksgiving morning.
Okay, that's as good a way as any to start it. So, welcome to the Brooks and Zach 100 Years Podcast. I'm Brooks.
And I'm done with the podcast.
That's Zach. One of these days, he's gonna be like tired. You're gonna be tired or something, and you're just gonna forget that you don't want to go along with this, and you'll just like go along with it, and then you'll be like, shit.
And then you'll always reference it as, remember that one time in the 100 Years Podcast when you actually did what I asked you to do? And
Yeah.
like, yeah.
When you actually didn't make me disappointed. Like, my father levels of disappointment.
Father levels. Do you want to talk about father levels of disappointment? We can talk about father levels.
Your father, he didn't disappoint me. He upset me very greatly.
Oh, that was funny. Because you made me watch Army of Darkness after the last podcast.
Yeah.
And then
which I think is a very great B movie.
B I always thought stood for low budget.
Yeah.
In this context, I think it stands for bad.
B movie is a very specific style of movie. And Army of Darkness, and especially the other Evil Dead movies, are very much in that style. And I think they're great.
It gave me a lot of cheap laughs, which I was like, that's funny. But then it also gave me a lot of things where I was like, alright, the plot's just enough there for me not to want to make fun of it, but it's nowhere near as, like, solid as I want it to be for me to think. They know what they were doing. I don't know.
But then then the same people made the Spider-Mans.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Oh, do you not like the Spider-Mans?
Which Spider-Mans?
The Raimi ones.
The original ones?
Yeah.
With Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Can you keep saying yes?
Yeah.
Alright, good.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
Bonesaw!
Yeah. Bonesaw was fantastic. I still love it. I still love those movies.
Yeah, what are you doing with you're playing with the tissue box?
Okay, fine, I'll stop.
Neither
neither of us have shoes on or socks.
This is the first time I decided to wear pants.
Yes.
I want you to know.
You decided to wear pants and nothing else, and also your definition of pants is not the common definition of pants.
Hey, it's fabric that kind of covers my legs. That's pants, right?
Your lower legs and nothing else.
Well...
Your ankles are very well covered.
What do you want from me, Brooks?
It's what I don't want from you, and what I don't want from you is full frontal nudity.
I'm wearing leg warmers. Leg warmers, and look at these little tassels on my feet wrists. What are they called? Ankles. That you just said the word.
Well, anyway, I made you watch Army of Darkness, and you didn't like it, which I'm just like, oh, it's a cult movie, not for everybody.
Yeah.
I've always been entertained by it.
I can see why a bunch of people would like it, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me, not my
Yeah. What I don't understand is why you would subsequently introduce it to your family so that they can also dislike it. Because, you see, you're the reasonable one out of this.
Yeah.
Your brother texted me and it's just like, hey, Zach showed me a movie that you showed him. It's so bad. I'm like, I don't even know where you got a copy of the movie.
You want me to make you feel better, Brooks?
Yeah.
So, I as soon as I got home, I just went to my brother. I was like, hey, send Brooks a text that just says, hey, I just watched this movie. It was so bad. He's like, why? I'm like, because I just want to mess with Brooks.
Okay.
But then my dad actually did know what the movie was.
Yeah.
And then
See, I was fine with it until your dad got involved, and he's a very mean man.
He's not mean, he's very blunt, and he just wants his point proven, and he wants to feel right all the time. I don't know why.
Yeah, and he threw some insults while we were, like, playing a video game over the curse chat, and he just flung some insults at me. I'm like,
oh, I guess you're stupid, you'll like the movie. Alright, see you. I'm gonna go do my real person job. I'm like, Dad, you don't have a real person job. You're retired. Stop it.
See, gotta cut out. I gotta work on the ums. But I told you about this. I told our friend Well-Dressed Josh about it as well, in a bit more in depth. But what really, like, I'm of the philosophy, I'm at least trying to be of the philosophy, real hard, that in real life, in real conversations, if someone likes something, I'm not going to be the one who's going to shit on it. Because I would do that a lot when I was younger, where someone would be like, hey, I really like this movie. I'd be like, ugh, that movie's so terrible. How can you like it? I'm just like, now I'm like, well, people like what they like.
People like shit. That's
I'll
fine.
very easily shit on things people like for the podcast for the sake of comedy, but in normal context, I won't do it. And conversations with you and conversations with Well Just Josh are really what prompted it, because one of the big deciding factors that didn't make me do it right away, but was sort of like in retrospect made me take this on, was a video game called Asura's Wrath.
We're not talking about it. That's
We're not,
the taboo.
Yeah,
that's the taboo.
I'm just like, there were disagreements.
There were
and
so
then,
many disagreements.
In retrospect, I'm just like, I thought about it, and I said to myself, a video game that one of us enjoyed and one of us didn't, caused a very real strain on our friendship.
It did.
A friendship that I highly regard. And that what set me on the path of not, like, if people like what they like, I won't shit on it.
I just remember we got really heated. It was right outside the chorus classroom in high school, and we just got really heated. Like, hey, here's a good video game you should play. Here's BioShock Infinite. And I refused to have a good time playing BioShock Infinite because you recommended it to me after you shat on Asura's Wrath. Oh, God.
Oh, you hit our little, I wouldn't call it a table. It's more like a tray, like a plastic metal thing that we sell.
That is a bump
that
on
is
my
a
knee
serious
and on
bump.
the table.
I'll lower it in post, but I can't get rid of it.
Okay.
Now that we've talked about it, Morty.
Yeah. No, but
it was.
I
vomited a little.
All right, but
thinking about Asura's Wrath.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Wrath,
it's fine. I understand. I understand why you like it, and that is fine.
We're moving on.
Moving on.
So what's the main? Something's different happening in this podcast.
So this podcast, guys, we're trying some new things out. We're gonna do a gaming corner type thing, and we're gonna see if we can get a shorter episode to try to get it under an hour.
All right.
Everything. See if we can be more focused doing that. So first, I just have a fewer number of news stories.
Oh, okay. So it's still the news, but we're still just. Instead of talking about a theme, it's just the gaming section.
Yeah, we just talk about a few games we've played recently.
All right.
It's called the Brooks and Zach Gaming Corner. It will be a recurring segment, maybe, if we remember it.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of recurring segments.
And if there's going to be more time to kill, I think I'll finish up the first chapter of our improv story that we wrote.
Yeah. Like, I want to see what the time is going to be once everything's said and done. We're done talking about the games we're going to talk about. Yep. And we'll try to get an hour because we don't want to go like super short after such long episodes. Right. We want to ease the listeners into it.
Ease it like a fine paste into a nice potato roll. You just ease it. You spread that potato roll slightly, and you just ease the paste in. And you baste it with a nice gravy, and then you wrap the bacon around that potato roll, and you go, ooh, this is a nice bacon cup I have with the potato baste inside of that roll. This is
only thing I've eaten in the last 12 plus hours is a couple of Oreos, and I've drank a bottle of water.
Why? Why? Why didn't you...
Look,
don't put your arm up me like...
Around like 6 o'clock yesterday, I had some chicken wings, okay?
Okay.
So, and then since then, all I've had is the Oreos that I shared with you.
Why? Like, I mean, I eat midnight snacks every night. Anyway. But, alright, news. Let's just
why are you taking up so much of the couch? Is that the reason? No, Zach, please.
No.
It's hell on the audio.
Yeah, I know it is. So look who's gonna have to... Fucking Brooks is gonna have to...
Zach, I want to be your friend.
I want to be your friend too.
I don't want there to be animosity between us.
Look at these delicious Oreos that I'm having. Would you like the other half?
No, I don't want the other half. I'm fine.
Alright. Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Apparently people don't like it. We don't know about our podcast because no one listens, so we don't have feedback. Mm-hmm. But apparently people don't like it in podcasts when they eat during it. They don't like listening to people eat. Zach,
what?
You are just the worst.
Well, I don't get it. What's so weird about eating? It's a natural thing of
Alright.
I'm gonna stop after this Oreo, though.
I'm gonna give you a few... I may actually give you a few options as to what we're gonna watch after this.
Okay.
So, but my heart is set on Clone Wars. Possibly Buffy if you want to try to get back into that.
We'll find out.
Okay, yeah. We'll find out. You guys won't find out, but we'll find out. So I don't know why we're talking about it. But on to the news.
All right. All IGN, it looks like.
There is one thing of IMDb, but IGN is is like the easiest place for me to get like news for more than just like movies or video games and stuff.
Okay.
About a few different things. NASA's New Horizons finds blue skies and red water ice on Pluto. Blue skies and red ice in the Kuiper Belt.
Oh, cool. Now that Mars has water,
everyone wants water now. And, like, Pluto thinks, like, just because it has water, it's gonna be cool and rejoin the planet club, but you're still just a dwarf planet.
Celestial dwarf.
Yep.
Look at that.
Okay.
That ad.
That is an ad.
It's stop bullying.
Stop bullying. It starts with you. Stop bullying. So
yeah, nerd.
So it's saying we should start the bullying before we stop it.
Because
in reality, there wouldn't be no bullying to stop unless we started it. So it's a vicious cycle. Man is a wolf to man. You know, that's another thing. Have I ever told you the story? Okay, real quick before we get into the news, I gotta tell Zach something. Okay, so we're both in college. And I'm taking an Earth and Space Science class because it's a requirement.
Right.
And the teacher is really cool.
Okay.
And it's just in the first day of class, it was just a normal setup. It was just a normal, like, group of college kids and everything learning.
Yeah.
And the guy was, Mr. O'Neill, the teacher, he was introducing himself and he was just going through it and everything, being really, really chill. 30 minutes into the class, some guy comes in. He's a student. He is late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
Carries like 5 bags of stuff, way more than you would need for a normal science class.
Right.
And like a raincoat, a big yellow raincoat that he never wears. He's always in shorts with a very.
Now you did it, Brooks.
Now, oh god, I was pulling up my leg to like very high pulled up socks, like very close to the knee, with shorts and everything, and a hat and a t-shirt, and he just like plopped all his stuff down, like showing. He's never on time to the class. He's always like 30 minutes late for whatever reason.
There was one kid who showed up 52 minutes late to class. I remember he just walked in and I was like, huh, why are you here now?
Yeah.
You could have just not showed up. The class is almost over. Huh. Alright, but anyway, you're a man.
Going back to it, so he just shows up. He asks, like, he's always asking, like, odd questions and everything.
Yeah.
Like, one of the first things he asked was he wanted the full details on Mr. O'Neill's doctorate, like where he got it, what it was in, you know, everything. Like as if checking his credentials to teach him, like a community college class and everything. And Mr. O'Neill, being super chill, he just like was able to list off all his stuff, and the guy was like, okay.
Alright.
Okay. And then later on in the lecture, he was, like, Mr. O'Neill was, like, told us the age of the Earth, and he's like, but how is this useful to you? You know, everyday people. Like, why would we need to know this? You know, can anyone think of any examples as to why we would need to know this? And the guy raised his hand, so he's just like, call him. He's like, no, in case there's intelligent life on other planets, we can judge, like, looking at how long it took us to develop, we can look at the age of other planets and see if they could have life on them. Right. And Mr. O'Neill's like, yeah, that's a very good reason. You know, and maybe if there is intelligent life, we can figure out some way to communicate with them, and they could do the same with us, see how long we've been developing, like they did in Roswell with the Roswell incidents, which I believe was them looking into our nuclear program. And he's going off on this. He has this whole monologue, and during the whole thing, this is the first day.
Yeah.
So like the guy who I'm sort of getting along with now sits next to me. At the time, I didn't know him at all. Right. I just took out my journal, wrote down, what the fuck, and slid it over to him, and he looked at it and laughed. Everything. Like
passing notes in college.
And there was a time when like we were doing like a constellation thing, and everyone like got a section of the room, and it's fucking like Mr. O'Neill was just like, you know, usually like you give the constellations Latin names, so. This is, like, this computer desk right here, this section, you can call it Computus Descus, you know, and everyone was doing that, and, like, air conditioner, Ian or something like that.
Okay.
And then it went around the room to see what everyone's names was. When it got to him and his group, it was just like a complicated like Latin phrase that meant man is a wolf to man. And
What?
I'm like, why? Like,
Just a complicated Latin phrase?
yeah.
And you're sure it meant a man is a wolf to man?
Because they're just like, it was like a phrase, and then they're just, Mr. O'Neill's like, huh, that's interesting. And then the guys are like, it means man is a wolf to man. I'm just like, Mr. O'Neill's like, good to know.
Homo homini lupus?
Yes, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, like everyone else was doing like air conditionerium or like the pencil sharpness or something like that, and he did that. And then like he was always
crazy.
asking odd questions. He always asks odd science questions to topics that are completely unrelated to what we're talking about,
Yeah.
and they're almost always scientifically unsound.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, we were talking about the melting point of quartz, and then like a week later, after we're done talking about that, he like came into the class and he's like, Mr. O'Neill, like interrupting his lecture, like raising it, he's just like, I looked it up online, and you were wrong about the melting point of quartz. It's actually 3,000 degrees Celsius. I did research online, and Mr. O'Neill is like, that is completely wrong. Did you mean Fahrenheit? And he's like, no, it was Celsius. It said Celsius. Where'd you find this? I found it at Wikipedia. And Mr. O'Neill is like, oh, okay. And fucking the most recent class,
Yeah.
Mr. O'Neill, like, he'll, like, doodle stuff while he's doing a lecture. He's just doing, like, a simple, like, doodle thing. And then he's just like, okay, so, like, when this ocean stuff can go underneath the continental thing, and that's how volcanoes are made. He did, like, a simple drawing. And then the guy raised his hand. And he's just like, well, what about this thing that happens? And while he's talking, he gets up, goes to the board, and starts drawing a diagram. And Mr. O'Neill is just like, he just like turns around and looks at everybody. And is like, it like shrugs and like takes a seat. And he just like crosses his arms. He's like, let's see where this goes. And then it's just like, and then he's like, he like finishes the diagram and whatever his question was about. And Mr. O'Neill's like, very interesting. We're not talking about that. We may talk about it later on in the course, but that has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Oh, old people are the craziest in college.
He's just...
Because they always think they know better than the teacher because they're older.
Yeah, this guy, you can tell he thinks he's smarter than Mr. O'Neill, and he is not.
What's that? The Dunning-Kruger effect?
I don't know.
Okay, let me Google it. Go ahead and look up the news.
Yeah. That was just a little diatribe because I mentioned the thing.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up? What's the...
Okay, so yeah, they found water and stuff on Pluto, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Justice League Dark is going to shoot next year. You know, it's going to start shooting next year with Scott Rudin directing and Guillermo del Toro, who's originally attached to direct. He'll just be producing it. It will exist within the current DC movie continuity. So it'll be a part of that and everything. You know Justice League Dark?
No.
That's the...
Sounds like a dark version of the Justice League.
Is it directed by Scott Rudin or Scott Rudin an actor? I don't know. Oh no, he's the producer. He's a producer. So, I don't think they have a director yet.
Scott Rudin?
Yeah, he's just a producer.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Justice League Dark it's gonna have Deadman, John Constantine. It's all the supernatural aspect of this.
Is Keanu Reeves still being Constantine?
Probably not.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he was good.
It was a good standalone film.
Yeah, it was a good standalone film. He didn't really play like John Constantine all that much, but he played an interesting character.
Right.
Who just happened to be named John Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very good, solid standalone movie.
Oh, but the Dunning-Kruger effect is essentially you think you know more about a topic than you do, and then you make misinformation about it. Like, there was an example where this one guy who was robbing a bank, he knew that lemon juice is what they put in invisible ink or something like that.
Right.
So he thought, invisible ink can't be seen by cameras. If I put lemon juice on my face, the cameras won't see my face! It's brilliant! And then he goes in there, robs the bank with his face covered in lemon juice. And they're like, what? Yeah, here's the money. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, hey, police. Yeah, you're looking for a guy who looks exactly like this. The cameras have his ID and everything. Yeah. Okay. And they went and found him. He's like, well, but I had lemon juice on my face. Like, what the fuck? You're an idiot. He's like, put invisible ink.
What is the thought process? Like, there's definitely a jump in logic there.
Well, more, like, I guess more rationally, like how old man Willikers, or whatever you want to say, in your story, thought the melting point of quartz was 3,000 degrees Celsius. So he'll probably go to Joe Schmo down the street and be like, yeah, 3,000 degrees Celsius. And that person will be like, oh, well, old man Willikers is certainly knowledgeable, so it must be true. And then that misinformation keeps getting spread until everybody has this preconceived notion that, oh,
yeah, that's a good name for him, Old Man Willikers.
All right.
But,
oh, goodness.
But even if you were going off of stupid logic, the lemon reveals the invisible stuff.
It was something stupid. And ironically, I think I'm butchering it enough to where it's not that specifically, but still. It's something along the lines of it.
Alright. The Incredibles 2 and Cars 3 have release dates revealed, along with Toy Story 4 and the rest of the...
I'm looking forward to Incredibles 2. I don't want them to mess it up.
Yeah. Brad Bird's coming back, so... Who? The guy who directed the first one.
Oh, cool.
And also Iron Giant.
Oh, Iron Giant was so good. But Cars 4? Why?
Disney has announced that Cars 3 will come out June 16th, 2017.
Didn't they make Cars 3 already?
No, they made Cars 2.
Is that the one in Tokyo?
Yes.
Oh. I didn't think it's...
Followed by Incredibles 2 opening June 21st, 2019. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. According to a Hollywood Reporter, Cars 3 has taken over the spot originally reserved for Toy Story 4, with that film now pushed back to June 15th, 2018. What's also notable is the fact that Incredibles 2 director Brad Bird said last month that his film would come out before Cars 3, but that's obviously not the case.
Oh. Man, I would love to see Incredibles before Cars. Right. Incredibles was awesome. Plus Samuel L. Jackson was Frozone.
Yeah.
It was the best.
Where is my... Oh, that's a terrible one.
Where is my super suit?
That's better?
I don't know.
Batman v Superman LexCorp viral site has launched, and a promotional video was released. And you can get Lex Luthor's operating system. The viral marketing for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is officially underway, leading up to the DC movie's March 2016 release, and it's being led by the film's villain, Lex Luthor.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Warner Bros. Has launched a viral site for LexCorp, which reveals the tech firm's plans for a better tomorrow involves offering consumers a new operating system. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's real good stuff.
It's the goodest of stuff. What was that one?
Disney retires nearly 100 mobile games.
Well, that's good.
The company wishes to focus on building new and more engaging games.
Good. Like, how games should be?
Yes.
Weird. I'm happy that...
Affected games include Star Wars Tiny Death Star and Star Wars Assault Team, whose retirement was discovered this week, as well as other notable titles such as Monkey Island 2 Special Edition, LeChuck's Revenge for iOS, and a number of Marvel titles.
Huh.
Although the decision was difficult to make, this will allow us to focus on building new and more engaging games, Disney says. So, yeah, it's got like a full list of over 100 thing. Motor City Drive, Toy Story, all the Toy Story games, Tron on the iOS, all that stuff, So, second to last bit of news, Marvel announces Ant-Man and the Wasp for 2018. Minor spoilers, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's going to be the sequel to Ant-Man. It's going to be called Ant-Man and the Wasp. Marvel's added another film to Phase 3. Ant-Man and the Wasp will be released on July 6th, 2018. Ant-Man made his debut this year in a film which brought Marvel's Phase 2 to a conclusion. Film introduced Scott Lang, who took over the mantle of Ant-Man from Hank Pym, the blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's going to have the people in it. First time that is going to be the first one to come out with the female in it. I don't know.
Sorry, I was just looking at the free app of the week on the App Store.
That was a noise.
That was a noise that was made by me, and only me.
Okay, there was a bit of news that I also wanted to bring up.
Which is? While you're bringing it up, let me tell you a story about an old person who's in my class at college. So, it's a little bit shorter, but she is a old Jewish woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't say that as a bad thing, but she keeps bringing it up, which makes me think, well, all right, who cares? But she's like, I'm just an old Jew. I'm like, who? All right. She's like, oh, crapola. That's a thing we said. And like, out of pity, I guess. One of the times she said a joke, and I laughed. And her jokes just aren't funny ever. It's just one word jokes. And so one day she said crapola, and she looked at me. So I just let out one of those kind of laughs, and she took that as I must keep impressing him. So as I was leaving the classroom, she called me over, and she's like, "Oh, hey, let me tell you a story." I'm like, "Yeah?" She's like, "Yeah, well, one day after my son died, I was standing over his grave, and I just looked at it, and I said, crapola." I'm like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? That's great. What? Yeah, coming." And then I just sprinted down the hall, and it was just, what? Why? Why would you talk about your dead son to me? I don't want to hear that. That's messed up. That's messed up. Look at me.
Was this some? Yeah, I'm looking. Was that someone at the college?
Yes.
Was it?
She's like 90 years old. Sydney. She's in all acting classes.
Oh no.
Okay.
I think she's been mentioned before.
If you know anybody in the theater program, you know Sydney. Hey.
All right.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
So the last bit of news is The Lion Guard.
I don't know what that is.
It's an upcoming American animated television series based on the 1994 film The Lion King. It will broadcast first as an hour-long television film titled The Lion Guard: Return of the Roar on November 22nd, 2015, and later as a series in January 2016 on Disney Junior and Disney Channel.
I don't know what
It is the second television series to be based on The Lion King, the first being Timon and Pumbaa, which ran from 1995 to 1999.
I don't know what, should I like this, or...
I don't know.
I don't feel anything towards a new Lion King remake thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I felt all my feels at the first movie. The first movie, it took all of my feels and it kept it. And it's...
Tarzan's what did it for me.
Well, when I say took all my feels, it means I cared so much about the movie that I can only care about that one, and I cannot care about any other Lion King thing.
Like that one.
Yeah, there you can point. You're pointing at the VHS on my shelf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so now I guess on to the game corner?
I don't know why I own two separate copies of Barbie and the Nutcracker.
What? That is why do you have two separate copies?
I don't know. Like, my sister's can be an explanation for why we have one copy. I don't know why we have two. You want the news is done. Would you like to just go into the gaming corner?
Sure, let's go gaming.
So let's we're gonna stand up now. Let's 1, 2, 3, and we're standing.
All right.
And we're just gonna walk on over to the gaming corner where we got all the games.
We'll just carry this laptop over there.
We're just gonna carry it very carefully, not making any noise with the tray.
Yep.
And everything. You know, we just gotta...
And setting it back to...
Yeah, just... Oh, that was close. Ah, shit!
Dang it.
Okay, we were close. But now we're just sitting in a corner together. Very, very close.
Wait a second.
In.
All the games are on the laptop. What?
Anyway, which one would you like to talk about first?
We can talk about Battlefront since we just played that before we started this.
So, yeah... So today, the day of the recording, we're dating this horribly, but today is one of the days that the Battlefront beta is available, and I've been playing that a lot, and before we started recording, Zach and I played it together a bit.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, hey, I remember playing Battlefront 2 and 1 last couple weeks ago, and I was like, well, it's alright, it's fine. But then, when we played Battlefront 3, I was like, oh, whoa, this is like a real game now. I can actually play this. And then I got mad because freaking, what was his name?
Krusty Curtains.
Yeah, Krusty Curtains. God damn that Krusty Curtains. He kept killing me all the time. I just wanted to learn how to play. I couldn't. I tried sniping. I got that one snipe.
Yeah.
That was good.
You laughed. You, like, full-on belly laughed.
Because I just, like, aimed, and I was like, well, I should probably aim a little bit in front of the pow, and then he just dropped like a hot sack of taters. And I was like,
Oh, God.
I don't even know if you'll be able to hear how high-pitched
I don't think you will. But
there's little voices.
there's little
lips.
ones, yeah. There's little bits.
Okay.
So, yeah, Battlefront. It's been a lot of fun so far, and the graphics are amazing.
Oh, yeah, they're very good. I forgot what it was like to play a AAA game
Yeah.
that, like, has good graphics.
I haven't played one in a long time.
Because, I mean, the games that I play are just all on my laptop, and it's a pretty good laptop, but it just doesn't run on, like, the highest settings. It runs on, like, the third highest or the second highest.
More than one time while playing, we stopped to look at our footprints in the snow.
Yeah, and there was one time you turned around and like, whoa, dude, look at my shadow, and then you got shot in the back and died.
Yeah, I'm like, worth it. It was worth it. That was a cool shadow.
Yeah, but I'm liking it. I can't wait to see, like, what other maps there are going to be. Hopefully playing survival or something with the more rounds in it.
Yes.
Because it ended so quickly.
It was very easy.
It's a good demo. Because it's cutting you off right when you're like, yeah, I could keep playing. And they're like, yeah, you could, but you got to buy the game. And you're like,
I gotta wait a month to do that.
oh, it comes out in a month?
November 17th, I believe.
And when does Fallout 4 come out?
Around that same time.
Oh.
The choice is easy for you.
Well, I don't have a PS4, so it's extremely easy.
Oh, yeah, the choice is more easily presented to you. No.
Oh, Matt's buying a PS4, or it's an Xbox One for...
Lame.
That's what I said.
I'm just kidding. I have an Xbox 360. I would get an Xbox One if I had the money.
PS4 dropped in $50.
Really?
Yeah, it's now $34.99. $34.999. Yeah.
Maybe I should have waited before buying it then.
Maybe.
No regrets.
No regrets. Really? Not even one letter?
No.
Dun, dun,
Not. Oh. That's God.
Oh, well, you've probably definitely played $50 worth of time on this PS4.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Like, whenever I buy a game on Steam and then it goes on sale, like in a month or so, I'm like, but I did sink 90 hours into this game, so...
Some people have this ideology about games and pricing, which, before we get into it, I think it's very stupid. I think this is a very stupid way of thinking.
What do you mean?
The people say that for every dollar you spend, you should get 1 hour of gameplay.
That is only Spool.
That Spool from Funhouse is the
Funhouse,
only one who thinks that.
Yeah.
Is so dumb.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, let's say a $5 game should at least keep me entertained for, I don't know. It depends. Oh, geez, because let's see. I spent, how much was Transistor? That was $15.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed Transistor. Like, I didn't mind paying the $15 for it. It was only probably a 3-hour game. But
Right.
the entire story and gameplay with it, I was just like, I'm completely invested in this. This is great. I love it.
See, yeah, that whole thing implies that a brand new game should always provide 60 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
If it comes out full retail price. It doesn't factor in that I can be completely satisfied with a very well-made $20-20-hour game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd be perfectly fine with paying $60 for that.
Right.
Because it's not like you pay like $8 to $12 on a movie ticket. You go in and you watch at most a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah, that's how you should weigh it against movies too.
Yeah, and you're willing to pay that kind of money if the movie's really good. You know, and you enjoy that. You enjoy the time that you spent. So it's not like a direct mathematical equation. It's
Right.
all very subjective.
Mhm.
Like, you can't measure how much you enjoy. Like, you can't mathematically measure how much you enjoy something.
Right. I mean, because there's games that are addictive, but they're only fun if you play it. Like, Binding of Isaac, I'll play that just all the time because I'm like, I've got nothing else to do. Yeah, that's fine.
That's the sound of Binding of Isaac being played?
Yeah, you just, you know?
That's a little baby running around crying. That's the sound it makes.
A baby?
Yeah, Isaac.
Oh, yeah, I guess Isaac
Yeah.
is a child.
He is a little baby.
That fires his tears to attack.
Yes, like every child can.
It's such a fun game. The DLC for that comes out at the end of the month, October 30th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
We kind of got a little away from Battlefront, so let's go back.
Okay.
First mode we played was Survival.
Mm-hmm.
It gave us 6 rounds of the full game has 15, and they're going to be harder. We can only set the mode on normal as well. And Zach and I played that together, and it was a ton of fun.
Yes.
We sort of ran around screaming when the ATST showed up.
We're like, shit! Did I get him? Sure.
We got jump packs, and that was nice.
It was nice. You're pretty nice. Look at you.
No.
All right, fine. Look, jeez, I'm just trying to have a good time.
Just trying to be a man. And in with the plan, getting swifty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's time to get swifty.
Everybody in my cast for the show that I'm in, they all know Rick and Morty.
Yes.
So one time, somebody just went, "Aw," and everybody else just went, "Aw, yeah, you gotta get swifty," and like everybody was just like, "Yeah."
Take your shit on the floor.
Take your panties and your pants off.
That season finale was really good.
Oh my god.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week because our episode came out the same day as that episode.
Yeah, that messed me up.
Spoilers. Are we gonna?
Nah, let's not talk about it.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. It's just like, it was a very good episode, and Rick and Morty's amazing. So, Gaming Corner, back. Survival mode was a lot of fun. We went up against waves of Imperials.
Yep.
Had some nice variety of the troops. You know, a heavy troop, a sniper, the jetpack guys, and everything. You know, it was
I enjoyed that mode a lot more, just me personally, than the other modes we played.
Right.
Just because I was like, yeah, Brooks and Zach, 100
years,
taking on the world.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
please.
Something. Okay, so for the other 2 modes, we sort of handed off each round.
Yeah.
And so the other one we played was Drop Zone. Drop Zone was the name of it. And we had to capture pods that are dropped. It's like a
capture the flag kind
of. Yeah,
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill type of thing and everything. And that was a lot of fun. And the main mode they were showing off was the big, like, Drop Zone was 8 versus 8. Walker Assault on Hoth was 20 versus 20. And that had vehicles and heroes and all that fun stuff. And I like that. The one, like, gut reaction enjoy the most would probably be Drop Zone and everything, because it's just like, you know, it's the most focused one. It's
like the iconic.
It's the tightest one. But I do, like, I enjoy and I can appreciate Walker Assault more, like, it's fun, but, like, not as fun as some other stuff. But I appreciate it more as it's this big battle that you do feel a part of, rather than a really, like, engaging multiplayer thing.
Right.
It feels more Battlefront that way.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like something I would like this is just personal taste, I would like some AI people peppered in to make it, like, technically a 40 versus 40.
Yeah.
Like, but it's still like a 20v20. Just have, like, AI guys going around. So you can maybe get some more kills before you die and feel better about yourself. And have it feel more like a huge battle.
Yeah, and boy, do you need that.
Yeah. But I like huge battles in games. I like it when games feels like I'm a part of a large conflict. Like
Mountain Blade Warband.
Yeah, Mountain Blade Warband is one of my favorite games because, like, a big part of it is because it does give me that feel, especially in single player.
Yeah.
When you can have, like, 200 versus 200 guys.
That's crazy.
And, like, something about it, because this happens a lot in, like, real life battles and everything, and something about it draws me. I like it when I'm not seeing the entire thing. Like, a battle is happening over a large area, and, like, when you look, like, and you're fighting in one part of the area, and you feel like you're in the most important part, and everything, you're with a group of guys fighting off the enemies. And when the battle's over, and you, like, sort of review it and go back, you can find out you were one of, like, 4 different parts, like, where, like, people were attacking and defending and assaulting and doing waves and all that kind of stuff, and, like, you're just feel a part of this huge, like, this large conflict. And I like that feeling. You know? I like it because it makes you feel like you're actually in, like, a kind of battle type thing. So
yeah.
And I feel like Walker Assault, I'd like it more if it had more AI guys, but as it stands, like, it gives me sort of that feeling. Not as good as Mountain Blade, but yeah.
So what would you say your favorite game genre is?
That is tough. That is... I don't really know. I guess... It really depends on my mood. But I guess third-person action type of games. I'll pretty much like any game with good story and everything. I like it's Mountain Blade. That's a sort of third-person action. I like sandbox type games.
Right.
And everything, but only if there's stuff to do in the sandbox. It's not just, sand.
Like the Minecraft.
Like the Minecraft.
It tears us apart. You and your fucking Iron Throne.
That was a story for another day.
Yeah,
but moving on, would you like to talk about Legend of Grimrock?
I haven't played enough of it, so I just got past the first boss. So, Legend of Grimrock is a pretty awesome dungeon crawler game. Like, you move up, down, left, right.
You can only prone?
I don't get the reference.
Because you're crawling through the dungeon?
God, you suck.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to put jokes in here, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't. Look at you. That's a joke enough. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you wounded me.
Anyway, you start the game out by making your party. Your party can just be one person or 4 people. Or 3 or 2.
No, it's only one. It's only you or everyone. You can't.
There's no happiness.
You can't leave someone out.
But so I've got the main character for me, and that's Brave Snuggles.
Yes.
Obviously. Then I've got the mighty berserker Minotaur, Pabu.
Pabu, yes.
Yeah, Pabu, and he's just like big and gruff, and he's like Pabu. All right.
He's a Pokemon. A very intimidating, deep-voiced Pokemon.
Then I've got my Skaven farmer, who's just there. He decides not to tell his name to anybody. He's just there, and he's like, yes, I would love to take all these herbs and everything. And then he became an alchemist because he had so many herbs. So he makes health potions for everybody.
He's just like, well, I've been picking up all these herbs, so I guess I might as well choose this career path with all the herbs. Like, if I don't, then I'll just have herbs around and nothing to do with them.
And then I made my my mage, who is a lizard man, Vermilion Thunderquake.
Oh, yes.
Who is he's just like a lightning bolt, and he destroys everything in front of him. Because
does the universe hate him?
No. Well, all the monsters do attack him first.
Yeah.
So it is.
That's what you get with naming him Vermilion Thunderquake. We explained the main game, so they know who Vermilion Thunderquake is.
Quick summary: Vermilion Thunderquake is a character I made who just has the shittiest luck ever.
Yeah, all the universe hates her
every time. But Vermilion Thunderquake is the most overpowered person, just like, but always takes all the damage because everybody's like, yeah, no, we don't like her. They stab Vermilion with bones and stuff. Like, what? Now I gotta take these out. Now I gotta patch them up. Gotta make her eat a fish steak. You're fine. But yeah, the game, it's pretty good. It's not so much as turn-based as, like, each enemy is on a certain clock. Like, after 3 seconds, they'll attack, and if you don't move, well, you're SOL. So, you keep going, and you're like, I gotta click everything before my time's up, And, like, you defeat all the monsters, you keep moving forward, you learn spells, you level up gradually, and then, as I made my way through this dungeon, I got a horn. And then I got to this spot where it's like, hey, blow the horn and you can begin your first test. I'm like, I've been playing for an hour. I haven't even gotten to the first test. All right, first test. And like...
That was a very weak sounding horn. You're not making it better. You keep trying, but... It's a duck call.
Wait, hold on.
That was the horn, yes.
And then after that happened... 2 giant Ents kind of came out of the ground, like these tree monsters, and I was like, shit, I'm only used to fighting one at a time, and so I'm, like, running away, and then they go underground and appear behind and beside me, and then I get trapped in a wall, and I'm just like, no, and everybody's attacking, Vermilion's dead already, the farmer dies right afterwards, and then Brave Snuggles got killed. I was like, no! So then Papa went into a frenzy, like a full-on berserker rage with his axe. He's like, ah! And he chopped everybody up and carried the lifeless carcasses of everybody else back to the magic healing crystal. He's like, Pabu heals.
And everyone lived.
Yeah, and then we did it. And that's when I was like, I'm saving, and that's enough for me today. But Legend of Grimrock, it's very fun, very addictive, but I have not had time to be at home ever. Oh, once we're done the podcast, this is going to be the first time in about a week and a half that I'll actually be able to be home and just do nothing. I want that.
Right.
I really want that. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So that's gonna be great. And last game we're gonna be talking about in this gaming corner is a game that I've been recently introduced to by our good friend Mattis.
What Mattis? Oh, Crusader Kings.
Crusader Kings 2.
Okay.
It's a fun one. So, the basic gist of this game is it's like every Paradox interactive game that they've developed. It's what's called a grand strategy game.
Okay.
A grand strategy. It's not a normal strategy game.
It's grand.
It's very grand.
Okay. What makes it grand?
So, basically, the point of it is you're in the Middle Ages.
Mm-hmm.
And your goal is not necessarily, you can try to pursue this goal, like the goal of trying to conquer all of Europe and everything, but that's not necessarily your goal. Your goal is to cement a lasting dynasty more than anything else. So you can pick literally anybody, like when you start the game, depending on the time period, it'll be historically accurate, different factions and everything, and people there. You can pick anyone you want, either play as a historical person or make your own person, and then you start your family. And it's a little daunting at first. There's a lot of like bells and whistles to it that can be very confusing. But once you get into it,
There's the whistle.
That is the whistle. Blow the horn. No, that was the. Yeah, that's the horn.
I wonder how that sounds being heard over. Kiss me.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Well, maybe next time.
You went for it and you failed.
Yeah. No. Well, what's that harm in trying, right? I mean, the worst you can do is say no. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I say no because you're the worst and I don't like your face or the rest.
Wow, I thought no was going to be the worst of it all. Okay.
No, it can always be worse. Remember that. So while Zach's crying in the gaming corner, Crusader Kings, you pick a person and your goal is to start out a dynasty. You can choose, once you get into the game, you really get into it. And it helps to have other people there that you're playing with. Like, I play with Matt, and that's what helped me to get really into it.
Now, are you guys playing on the same map? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're playing on the same map. And he was able to answer any questions I had about what to do and how to react to certain things. It was great. So, when you start your guy, you have to choose different traits for him and everything. It's the thing where, like, you start out as, like, 18, and if you pick good traits, it adds years onto your life of your guy.
Okay.
But makes it more likely that you'll die sooner. And then, so you also have to do things that take off years. And our favorite one to do, we both do this, is lunatic.
Yeah.
And that will give special things. Like, occasionally, you'll have to, like, fire your chancellor and appoint your horse as your chancellor. Occasionally. It's happened only a few times to me. Okay. And you can just, like, reappoint them. You have to appoint your council guys, and you make your characters. You can try to marry anyone else in the game, everything. And what happens...
Anyone?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yes.
Even my horse?
Yes.
You're messing with me. Really? I can marry the horse?
No. It has to be a lady. You can, homosexual is one of the traits you can gain. You still have to marry with ladies, but you get along better with dudes. It's like, it's that...
Oh, it's that
thing.
gray zone back in the day.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, but the thing is, when your character dies, either in combat, or disease, or a random thing just happens, and your character dies, you move on to actually your heir. You can have children, and your heir will be the next person you play as when you die.
Okay.
And if you educate your children as they grow up, you give them a guardian. That can either be you, or you can assign someone else to be their teacher. And they'll gain certain traits, and they continue gaining traits as they go through life. You play as them, and you just continue on where you were. And when they die, you play as their heir. And you just keep it going, and your goal is to build a very lasting dynasty. Like, marry off your people, you can conquer other lands. It's all this great stuff. It's really fun with other people, and it's just a good time had by all. But it's very confusing at first. If you're going to get into it, I recommend... either playing it with somebody who knows how to play it, who knows a lot about it, or watching, like, Let's Plays of it to get a gist of it.
Northern Lion is one I would recommend. He plays a lot of Crusader Kings.
Yeah. I've never heard of him, but
Northern Lion, he's really good. He plays all the games. He does
I will
everything.
check him out. You know, and I look on his channel, I'm just like, It's a good-looking man.
Well, I'm looking, and we've got 10 minutes left before we hit the hour mark. You care if I finish up the first chapter of the improv story?
Go ahead.
All right. Because, do you remember where we left off, Brooks?
Willem was going into the volcano to obtain the Tundra Sword.
The Sword of Tundras.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you show me, like, the page, I'll be able to tell you where
No.
we were.
I remember where we were. I just had to...
Okay. So, listeners, for those who don't know, those who are tuning in for the first time at episode 11, which is probably the best, because we keep on improving in the qualities, we have a recurring segment where there was a time when we were younger and much worse writers, where via text we would take turns adding to a story, and we eventually made an improv story. And Zach is going to share the next part of it.
All right. I'm going to repeat a little bit just so...
Yeah. To catch them up.
All right. So, after we escaped the tiger sharks in the car,
Yes.
we got to the dormant volcano that housed the Sword of Tundras. And after we all got there, Willem was wigging out a little bit. And that's when Zach noticed that his huge bag of shrooms had been stolen from his pocket. God damn it, Willem, eating all the good shit. Zach sighed as he shook his head and peered down into the frozen volcano. The first sword is the Tundra Sword. It makes shit be frozen, yo. Zach popped the trunk of his car. I have some rope. Who wants to be lowered in the highly unstable frozen volcano? I'll go, shouted Willem. He was high on shrooms, and he had no idea what Zach said. I'm cool with it, Brooks made a pun. It sucked.
Yes, it did.
Willem had tied the rope around his waist, and Zach lowered him down into the volcano with the grace of a Vietnamese concubine. Zach realized that this would be a bad time to mention that once Willem retrieved the sword from inside the volcano, it would erupt immediately. So he just kept his mouth shut and continued to lower him while gyrating his hips like a windmill. Why do we have so much
homoeroticism up the butt?
It's just so... I just didn't realize how... Oh my god, it keeps going. Okay, Willem began gnawing on the rope as he thought it was a really long, hard, big, black hot dog. He loved hot dogs. And dicks.
There's an ellipses there.
Willem, don't gnaw on the rope, Brooks yelled. But Willem kept gnawing. The rope snapped. Zach and Brooks both yelled. No! Willem cried, and he fell and fell and fell. But Willem was like only, 2 feet off the ground, so he was alright when he hit the icy floor. Zach and Brooks shrugged their shoulders. He tossed that... Hold on. Zach looked at Brooks and shrugged his shoulders. He tossed the other half of the rope into the ice pit with him. So, now Willem is just at the bottom of the volcano.
Yep, and he's bound.
No way up.
Nope.
Now do you see the giant, frozen, mythical-looking sword? Zach shouted to Willem. Don't touch it. It's just a convenient-looking icicle. Look for actual metal. All I see is some ancient sword glistening through the eternity of clouds of dreams and suffering. Willem went towards a giant metal club. No, leave that alone. You're looking for a... Oh, wait, yeah, that's it. Zach squinted his eyes. Willem grasped the hilt of the sword and pulled on it with all of his might, but it would not budge from its position in the ice. It won't release, Willem yelled up. You want to say this line, Brooks?
Hang on.
Right there, that line.
Have you tried working the shaft? Brooks yelled.
Zach got an idea. He threw a lit stick of dynamite recklessly into the volcano, cracking and shifting all of the ice, making it dangerously unstable. This'll motivate you, Willem! He screamed. Brooks whispered into Zach's ear. Or kill him. Brooks joined in throwing dynamite with Zach. We kept shitting on Willem all the time. But he deserved it because he's Willem.
Nah, Willem, I've been working with him a lot, and he really wants to get back into the everything.
Okay.
So I still like Willem. He's a good sport.
But he's still Willem.
He's still Willem, though. Yeah.
He's like the Ross of our group.
He is definitely the Ross of our group.
Okay. Willem started frantically grasping and pulling at the shaft. Blood came pouring out of his hand, and eyes as the fear made him cry blood. After a valiant effort, the dynamite went off, and Willem was no more. Great job, Brooks. You just killed Willem, destroying the sword and fucked us all, said Zach. What idiot would throw dynamite? Fuck you, Brooks. They both slouched and headed back to the car. I am singed with the fires of sex and life, motherfuckers, a voice said behind them. Zach and Brooks stopped in their tracks, said as they heard the odd statement, and turned around to see Willem standing there with the Tundra sword. Turns out the dynamite just launched Willem and the sword right out of the volcano. I don't know why. Zach and Brooks watched the smoldering Willem recover from his drug high, and they both smacked him a few times when he'd fully come out of it. I'm so glad you're alive and no longer high, but we can't stop now, Brooks and Zach spoke in unison. Whoa, did we just... They continued to speak in unison. Weird.
We just have, like, odd, like, things like that that just come out of nowhere and we don't know why.
We just... It's because... we're just like, we need to one-up the other person. We just need to make it as weird as possible.
Yeah.
Guys, we must continue on our adventure. The sharks are going to stop chasing us. The only way to end this is to kill them. Now, quit finishing each other's sentences like the pretty couple you are and get a motherfucking move on. Bitch. Willem watched a lot of Breaking Bad that day.
Yeah.
He taunted as he walked past them, his sword in grasp, and the smoke following his path. Brooks suddenly grew more attracted to Willem, but shook his head and focused at the task at hand. Alright, the next sword is the Sword of Motherfucking Kingdoms, as is located...
The motherfucking isn't in there because we hadn't established that the Sword of Kingdoms is the most amazing thing ever.
According to Brooks.
According to me, it's the most amazing thing ever.
Alright, the next sword is the Sword of Kingdoms, and is located at a temple deep in the Forbidden Forest. The scroll doesn't say what the sword's power is, but we'll have to find out eventually. Let's get going! They re-entered the car and set out for the Forbidden Forest.
And that's the conclusion of Until the Next Time.
Yep, and then Chapter 2. What happens then? Well, we find the Sword of Kingdoms.
Yep.
Or do we? I don't know. Do you? Let you find out next time on Brooks and Zach 100 Years podcast, maybe.
Yeah. So let's finish up with how's your life been, and then we move on to the plugs, and then we end.
All right.
Keep it nice, about an hour. So how you been?
Okay, so this whole past week it has been nothing but being at college doing the play,
Right.
and that ends this week, and I'm so happy, and I can sleep. I haven't slept in I've probably slept 5 hours these past 3 days.
Right.
And I feel great.
Oh.
I probably feel bad, but my body's like, no, don't feel bad yet. You gotta love Brooks.
Oh God.
You gotta tenderly caress his ear with your hand.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I gotta work in a few hours, so that's not gonna be fun. I've been saddled with a lot of homework recently, a lot of late nights.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go work at the scuba shop tonight, and my boss is a dick.
Oh, everybody's boss is a dick.
Yeah.
Because, except mine. Well, I've got supervisors, and then there's the boss. The boss is a dick, but my supervisors, who's Mattis and Brandon.
Right.
But you got the picture I sent you, right?
Yes.
Of him standing in an empty gas station with the caption of, I'm afraid of black people.
Yes. He seems like a character.
He is upper class redneck. That's what I'll.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how I've been recently, I saw The Martian 2 days ago.
Oh, how was that?
It was really good. I really liked it. I saw it with 3 people, which was, it was me.
Mm-hmm.
It was well-dressed Josh.
Why didn't you invite me?
And it was Rick.
Why didn't you?
It was gonna be like a thing with the 4 of us, like 3 of us, and then another guy. The other guy was sick, so I'm just like, oh, it'll just be the 3 of us, I guess. And we ate lunch first, and we're gonna go. Rick shit his pants, so he dropped us off. Yeah, he shit his pants.
Did he literally?
Yes. The stain on his pants.
No, you're messing with me.
So what happened was we left the restaurant.
Which restaurant?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
And the rest of us were fine and everything. And I don't know why he shit his pants, because he just had like a pretzel and fries.
Okay.
So we go into his car, and he's driving. It's his car, so we're carpooling with him. I'm in the back. Josh is sitting next to him. We get in. We're just like, okay, let's go to the theater. And like, The Martian will be starting soon, so we can go watch that. And Rick's just like, guys, no joke. I think I just shit my pants. And we're just like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I shit my pants. Yeah, it's like, why? He's like, I don't know. It's like, go to the bathroom, Rick. It's like, why are you here? If you shit your pants, like, did you shit it now? He's like, no, I shit it before we left the restaurant. I wasn't sure. And it was just like, why didn't you go to the bathroom? And we were like, for whatever reason, he was hesitant to go back inside and go to the bathroom. And we had to both yell at him to like get him out of the car and go. And like when he was out of the car, he's like, Josh, like, are you coming with me? And then Josh is like, No! You're an adult and you can go to the bathroom on your own if you fucking shat your pants.
Rick is a card, alright.
Yeah, and then, like, when he was walking away, I turned on, like, I saw his pants were stained. I was like, yep, he wasn't joking. He was wearing white shorts.
Ew!
So, what happened was when he came back, he dropped us off at the mall, and he had to go home and change, and we're just like, oh, god damn it. But other than that, The Martian was really good, and I really liked it. Like, Rick didn't like it because he hates good movies. Josh liked it, but he had some criticisms with it. But overall, I really liked it, so.
Okay.
So that was my day a few days ago.
I just can't get past the fact that he shit his pants.
Yeah, he's an adult.
Like, I can understand sharding sometimes. Like, sometimes you, like...
I think that's what it was, but it was a very big one. It's just gross thinking about it.
Okay.
So that's enough for now.
Well,
so we're at about an hour, so we can.
Yep, you know where to find us at 100 Years Pod.
Yeah,
on Twitter.
And through that you can find our own Twitter handles and everything. You can find us on Pinterest.
Pinterest, Brave Snuggles.
If you're listening to this through the iTunes app, you can also follow us on SoundCloud, which is the main one where we upload it to. If you're listening on SoundCloud, you can just download us through iTunes to make things easier, you know?
There you go.
Because the SoundCloud app is garbage. They're not going to find out. SoundCloud's not going to listen to this.
Oh, hey, we got another follower. SoundCloud.
Yeah, it's like, they liked all of our episodes except this one.
Oh.
Podcast canceled.
All right, so I guess I'll just sign us off like how...
Yeah, do the same one you do every day.
Every time. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to get up from where you are. You're going to move to the nearest toaster or microwave. And what you're going to do is you're just going to put a nice slice of bread in there. Because, you know, who doesn't like good old-fashioned microwave bread? And you're gonna keep it in there. You're going to wait until I tell you to take it out. But it's not going to be until you've already grabbed the jam or jelly out of the refrigerator. And, you know me, you can choose any jam or jelly you want this time. Just not the marmalade. Please, for the love of God. So now, by the time you have it, you can just stare at that toaster. I know you're staring at it. You're staring at it quite intently now. Now, hit cancel, bring that toast back up. You gotta grab it. It's hot. Fuck. Throw it down. You gotta just quick spread that jam on it. Who cares? There's not enough on it. You're fine. You're fine. This is your masterpiece. You gotta look at it and you gotta think, 100 Years Brooks and Zach podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody. That was great. It was a good time.
See you guys.
Good time.